Here in Enugu, owning land or building a house or erecting any sort of building has rarely been a straightforward journey. What should be a simple process has often come with heavy agent and legal fees, unclear documentation, stories of double allocation, and a long list of unofficial charges, including community levies like Obone Chago. Beyond paperwork, there is also the lived reality of construction sites being disrupted by groups demanding money before work can continue. Over time, these practices have created fear, raised costs, and slow genuine development. For years, these concerns have been discussed quietly among residents and investors. But on Thursday, the 29th of January, all these concerns were brought openly to the table at the Stakeholders Townhall meeting on land sector development, with the understanding that a system that has struggled for so long may finally be entering a new phase, and policies were created to drive the change. Today, we bring the light on what has changed. Are those changes more practical than theoretical? And what needs to be included? I'm delighted to be joined by a seasoned estate surveyor to analyze these policies. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Anitche Ndudim Rowland, you're welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, how are you doing?
Fine.
Okay, so you've seen it's something exciting, really, right? But we need to have analyze these policies. Having received the policies announced, I know that you have seen it, you have analyzed it, but what was your first reaction to these reforms?
Okay, well, thank you very much. I know
Yes.
your viewers might think, this man has been an ex-banker, financial analyst. Now,
A lot of feathers to the cap here.
Now I'm talking about estate.
Yes.
Well, just for a reminder, my first degree was in estate management before
Oh, wow.
I went into banking.
Okay.
And didn't follow up with the professional side of valuation. So that needs to be set clear. And
Yeah.
so for every estate surveyor, he's a land officer, he's a land administrator. He can go into real estate, property development, management, and sales.
Okay.
Yeah. So that gives me in a position to
Yes.
explain.
You have an authority here.
Authority, well, you're saying it.
Okay, but what was your reaction when you heard about the reforms, the policies that we agreed upon on Thursday?
Okay. First of all, let's state it clearly.
Yes.
The Land Use Act
Okay.
confers on the governor to be held in trust for the people and administration.
Okay.
And if you go further in the Land Use Act, you also talked about the governor granting statutory right of occupancies to land within urban areas. And you also have the customary right of occupancy within rural areas, mostly by the local government chairman. So you could see two dual authorities within a state.
Yes.
And so, like I said before, in values, where banks and central banks are custodians of value, the governor in the state is a custodian of land values. He can make or mar developments by either making good use of the land or making the wrong moves about it. Now, this administration came into being and maybe within 1 year, jacked up land processing fees. Very, very high amounts. The cheapest then was about 12,000 naira per square meter in terms of land processing. That's quite a lot. Somewhere along the line, it was reduced from 12,000 to, I think, 7,000 or so. There were different categories. Currently, the cheapest is 2,000 per square meter, depending on areas in Agba and all those off the major city center. So you can imagine somebody buying a plot of land, maybe 500 square meter, for let's say 1 million or 2 million naira. And you're asking him to cough out 2,000 naira times 2,000 naira times 500 naira per square meter. You're talking about close to maybe 10 million naira or so. And so that's quite much. And you could see there's a reaction and cry amongst the public and especially investors The land fees are high. There's also the Enugu State Geographical Information System, AGIS, that propped up and came out with more regulations in land administration with a lot of fees. And this has really created a lot of discontent. From my own findings, I even saw the head of the unit. Like, we were fellow colleagues in the banking industry. And to my greater shock, he's not a land officer. He came in from, is it banking or economic and banking or finance department. And so you will see you have a case of somebody, an ex-banker with a mentality of driving revenues, administrating land. That's where you now have a clear mismatch, more or less like a round peg in a square hole. Okay. So you could see managing land as a resource to drive development, balancing it with generating revenue for the government. So these are things that has to be cleared. And personally, geographical information systems should serve as a unit under the Ministry of Lands. Because it's just like your phone, you know your Google map. Yes. If you're looking for an address, you type it, the Google takes you to the place. And that's what GIS does. It's a unit where the entire map out area of Enugu State is already digitalized. You could see it, the office could see it. Any land, any property elsewhere, once the land surveyor does a map, does the surveying, takes it up, it is uploaded into that database. And they have the record so that land officials are no longer carrying files.
Which is actually what he's doing, but you're saying that it should be under the Ministry of Lands and
exactly, and the administration. Now, you keep seeing more of the head of the AGS on air talking about land and like, this is completely wrong. It's like placing me in judiciary and I'm talking about land law, or I'm talking about law, or you're placing me in the medical field, I start talking about medicine. It's a complete mismatch. Okay. And so, that is why there's this much pressure right now. And they've been discussing until they came out recently and said it's been reduced by 60%.
Yes, the reduction.
Let us see the rates. These are the issues. And unfortunately, my own Nigerian Institute of Basic Surveyors and Valuers have not really come out openly to raise issues about, hey, we have the wrong person in this position. Nobody wants to talk about it.
All right. So, Mr. Rowland, do this theory address the real problems on ground, or do they remain largely theoretical?
No, that's one of the biggest problems.
Yes.
The fees.
The fees.
The fees are it's outrageous, very expensive. Because, you see, the state should serve as the market maker where they do the heavy lifting, site clearance, mapping out, road construction, providing sites and services, and to make it affordable so that they create that market. Because when you give somebody access to a land whose value is, let's say, 1 million, but with the potentials of reaching up to 20, 30 million, you have added value to that landowner. He can trade it, he can place a mortgage on it to take loans to drive business. And you could see it will attract other capitals. Capital is looking for where to stay. So places where property values are rising is a function of the economic drive, the states, what they've actually done. I'll give you a typical example. Ogun State. Land in Lagos became very expensive, shortages, fees became high from the community, from what you call the states and the Agberos, you call them.
Which we're going to also talk about, that we have here as well.
What Ogun State did was, and taxes in Lagos became unbearable.
Yeah, so exorbitant.
What Amosu did, in particular, he set up Ogun State Investments, like a one-shop sector where from that office, you could register your business, apply for land, and you'll be given. Very cheap. So a lot of businesses moved over to Lagos, especially if you look at the industrial access from the toll gates. Or let me use the Redeem Center. If anybody that's conversable with Redeem. From that axis down, a lot of companies expanded because they made access to land easy, affordable, and convenient. So the same thing should happen in Enugu State. Now, the root cause of it, which I keep saying, the budget of Enugu State is completely unrealistic.
Okay.
And so because there's a pressure to increase revenues, land charges will go up.
Yeah, let me just cut you there, and I don't really mean to, but since we're talking about them making it quite expensive, because looking at the reforms and what was said at the meeting, the whole essence was to make it affordable. So let me read this out. The government disclosed that ground rent, land use charge, and all property-related charges have now been unified and reduced by over 60%, which you're trying to say, but we don't know how this would really run, with property owners required to pay only a single unified land use charge annually through the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service. Don't you think that maybe when it's all out about the figures, maybe it would be quite affordable? Since maybe we don't know what it's like now, the figures, how much it is. Okay, 60% is what?
60%.
No, 40% is what exactly? Because it's 40% that you are paying.
Right now, I told you, the cheapest so far from the list I have is 2,000 naira per square meter.
And you do the calculation as well.
So if you say 60% of what? Is it the entire flat fee? Or, you see, they should come out with proper regulations. Now, there are so many other fees, not just one. Even amongst people processing with AGS, Enugu State Geographical Information System, there are so many other fees. I think I'm even aware they've even abolished power of attorney to recognize it. There are so many fees. And so these are administrative bottlenecks that needs to be addressed. And the issue is what is coming out from the ministry is still not convincing. Mind you, like I told you, the state is interested in raising revenue.
Okay.
And so as long as they have a very overambitious revenue target, whatever they're saying will be like a pipe dream.
Okay, you said something about convincing, right?
Yeah.
How convincing is the fact that they have abolished and stopped the Obone Chago and other groups that we know of? This is a long age group. These are long age groups that have existed over time. They have abolished it. How practicably is this?
Okay, now, the Land Use Act recognizes customary right of occupancy for properties for land within rural areas.
Okay.
And so every land has a root title. It's either government acquired within an area, and issued certificate of occupancies,
which they are now going to be the ones to do as well.
Like in the rural areas, where with a root it's a community it's a community land. The community issues a power of attorney to you, and part of it you're also meant to pay a fee, which is that of Chago. The same state came out with an edict classifying so many areas as the state capital territory, as within the urban area, as far as Emene, as far as Kanu East and West, and I don't know if Ububu access. So, Nike, so many areas.
Okay.
I think even Oji area too was classified as an urban center. So automatically, what the governor just did was abolish customary right of occupancy within those axes, up to even Nsukka axis.
Do you think it's a good thing?
Yes, you can put a law. You can enact like an act, not an act. What's the word? What's a guideline? I won't call it a law. I don't know if a law was passed to it. The question is, how workable is it?
Yes, that is the thing, because I mentioned this to someone
Because
yesterday.
the whole aim is okay, so that the land use charges that will be paid will no longer go to the communities but to the state.
You know what you said? How workable is this? To convince these people not to, to collect money. Okay, the government said that they have constituted a task force for this, for compliance, while members of the public who are compelled to pay such illegal charges have been urged to submit evidence to whistleblowing at enugustate.gov.ng for prompt intervention. Are these enforcement outfits and mechanism enough? Okay. Can this actually eradicate Ogbone Child and other groups?
No, I know, okay, to be sincere, there are people that have been victims of multiple fees to these groups.
A very large percentage of people are victims.
We don't have the data. You see, land fraud is a problem in the entire country.
Okay.
So that's why you're supposed to do your diligence very well. And the depressing state of the economy is even pushing people further into land frauds, taking multiple fees, even communities trying to also raise revenues. You also have issues of even states collecting multiple levies. You're paying local government levies, you're paying state capital territory levy, capital territory development fees. You're also going to go back to ages to also pay their fees. So it's a problem across board. So if they are going to live up to their statement of unifying fees, fine and good. The question is, let us see the direction. Because you see, capital will always go to places that are very, very fertile, attractive, and convenient. You know, the toga of Enugu State as one of the most expensive places to live in is still there, as stated by Bureau of Statistics. So these are policies that have been placed on ground, which is hampering development. If land fees and land administration is very, very expensive, nobody will invest one kobo. Because what the government is doing is it has taken the value upfront from the investors. Because an investor that is coming in either even if he's investing for personal use or to sell. He's doing it in such a way that, okay, when I invest this amount, I'm supposed to reap these returns. The government can also make its money through taxes within those areas, especially if it has done its own job of providing sites and services. But the situation where the government wants to make money upfront rather than give value to investors, it becomes a problem. So people there will be reservations. They'll hold their money and say, okay, let's wait till this administration pans out. And when a new administration comes in, we will do business. But with this mindset of trying to raise revenue at all costs, especially from land charges, as a potential means of raising revenue, nobody will invest a kobo. Okay. I was even expecting states like Ebonyi and Anambra to take advantage of this framework, what is happening here, and open up its areas. Okay, hey, we're open for businesses. You can access land very easy, very cheap. They can even reduce it to as much as 200 naira or 300 naira per square meter so that people will flock into those areas to invest. Yes, it's a fair competition.
Okay, 200, 300 naira.
Very fair. So that capital comes in. Okay. If you're desperately in need of investment, you have to make land accessible. This is not Lagos.
All right. So I was going to also hint on something. We might not have the data, but this is the media, because we get to open up the talk lines at times and you hear people complain about legal charges agent. And this is also one of the things that was scrapped out to 10%. How achievable is this? Some people say, nah, these lawyers, these agents, they will still keep collecting these arbitrary fees.
Okay. As long as we keep having shortages of housing, you will always see abuses, you always see either black market or other means of going around it. And because government investment in the property market has been abysmal. In fact, it's even private investors have come in to show on the gap. Government does not even need to even build houses. All they just need to do is create sites and services, the roads, water, and investors will come in. That's all they need. I've gone on air and said, look, you have an industrial estate at the airport and towards MNA, lying fallow, no access roads amongst the areas. And this is an area where you can just put pouring investment into it. And property owners within those industrial areas will be ready to pay your taxes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Rowland, and just to wrap it up, right, at the end of the day, one thing that I see you pushing is the fact that this is just meant to increase revenue for the government.
That's all. It shouldn't be. That should not be your prime motive. The prime motive of governance is security and welfare. That welfare includes you adding value to residents. Residents could be citizens, investors, all stakeholders across board.
Okay, because as of yesterday, I guess the taxes for the government just arrived in Enugu. We also have that to talk about.
That's just one aspect.
Okay,
We
but
had taxes during Sullivan's tenure. The next 8 years, those taxes vanished.
but you know the implication of these particular taxes that are here, because we have to get some others off the road to accommodate the new others. But apart from, let's just leave that. It's something to talk about another time.
Okay.
It's all revenue at the end of the day.
You see, the fixation on revenue is completely misplaced and wrong completely. You see, government, your first priority is, okay, how do I improve the value of my people? The allocation coming in, how much has been allocated to roads and water? We need to see it. Enugu State is owing about 40 billion naira to contractors. That's a problem. Enugu State is owing about 36 billion naira to pensioners, to retired pensioners and civil servants. That's an issue. So these are ways you impact on lives of people, so that money you are giving to them comes back to you as taxes, directly or indirectly. Because when you pump that money out, it's a circle of fund. It comes back when you come knocking on people's door. Hey, pay your taxes. People will willingly pay. You earn goodwill from it. But when you're thinking about raising taxes, revenue, without bringing out something in return, people see it. You're doing urban renewal, demolishing houses, and you're not paying compensation. That is completely wrong. So you will see resentment from the public. Any project or any program you're doing, just like even the taxes, the public will look at it with suspicion.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rowland. So what do you think, this reform, does it represent a meaningful shift, or is this just another cycle of policy announcements?
Exactly. Let's see the guidelines. Let's see the guidelines from the office.
Okay.
Either the Minister of Finance, Minister of Lands or AGs has been using. And the fees along its path. Then we will know if, okay, this administration is serious or not.
Okay, we're hopeful that it's workable.
We hope so.
Yes, that's the much we can take. Thank you very much, Mr. Rowland.
Thank you very much.
Very insightful conversation
Yeah.
we had here. Thank you very much. That's the much we can take on the Eastern Business Front. The Afia Business Morning returns tomorrow. Many thanks for staying with us. My name is Noma, and when I come up next is Afia. Bye for now.